friends, my name is Maggie Hensley and I'm the proud director of Team Ohana Hala just outside of Dallas, Texas. I've been with Sensi for almost 4 years. I joined in February of 2012 and it has been the best thing that I've ever done for myself and for my family. I am the proud mom of 3 sweet little boys and I have an amazing husband who is totally supportive of me and my journey. He's amazing. When Ashton asked me to answer some questions for her team, I thought I would just make a video so that I could share it with my team and others as well if they wanted to. So I'm going to just go ahead and start with what she's asked me to do. So number 1, what are your top 3 tips for someone trying to reach your title and why? So this is probably the hardest part of sharing for me, is that I don't really know how to put what I do into words very well. I just kind of do. I don't really think about it and I don't really have a plan for it, but I will do my best to give you guys some tips. So the number 1 thing that I learned in my journey to director is that you can't make everybody want it as badly as you do. You just can't. You get these, a couple first recruits and you think that they're going to just follow in your footsteps and do everything that you have done and they're going to get to where you are and you're just going to rise up to the top together, and that's just not how it happens. Unfortunately, you can't make everybody want it as badly as you do. You can't make people work. You can't make people recruit. You can't make people do the same things that you do, because not everybody's going to have the same journey as you. They're not supposed to. You have your own journey. You do things your own way. And that's okay. That's fine. It's, you need people that are more hobbyists. You need the kidnappers. You need the rock stars. And it's your job to figure out who is going to kind of come along with you on the journey and who's just going to be a part of your journey, if that makes sense. So that is one thing that I kind of had to learn to do, is to not project my expectations of myself onto others, because that's just not fair. I try to make my journey as duplicatable as I possibly can. I try to do things that my team can also do. I try to be very transparent with the way that I run my business, because if I have someone on my team that wants the business, that's hungry for the things that I've done and wants to become director and grow in their business, then I want them to be able to look at what I've done and see that they can do it too. Because I have been doing school full time since I started. I just finally graduated just a few weeks ago, actually, but I was doing school full time the first 3 years of my Scentsy journey. And I also have 3 children. When I first joined, I had a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old. And then I had my 3rd son about 1.5 years ago. And I've done all that while I've been doing Scentsy. So it's not like people can look at me and be like, oh, well, she has way more time than I do, or she's not as busy as I am. I am probably the busiest person that I know. So if I can do it, then I want anybody to be able to think that they can do it too. So number 1 would be not to project my expectations of myself onto other people. My second tip would be to have a team page. Absolutely have a team page. Even if you're not a director yet, act like a director. That is one thing that my upline told me that has been gold for me. She said, well, the first fall that I was a consultant, I almost hit director. I was like 300 GWV away from hitting director, but I wasn't ready for it. After that fall, I lost like half my team. They just decided that it wasn't for them, or that they didn't really want to be a part of the journey the way that I was. And that's okay. I had to learn to rebuild and to, kind of find some new blood. But after that first fall, I just kind of noticed a rift in my team, and I wanted a way to bring us together more. And so I made a team page, and I don't even remember what I called it at first. We didn't have a team name. You don't get to make a set in stone team name until you are director, and home office will recognize that whenever you do decide it. But so I made a team page, and I would post goals on there, the goals that I had for myself. I would post challenges, but I also would just kind of have a place for support. It's so important that you feel like a family and that you feel like a unit. So having a team page has been huge for me. We can swap ideas. We can post videos, we can post motivational quotes. We can also kind of help build each other up if we notice that one or more of us is having kind of a rough time. So that's been huge. Okay, tip number 3. You can't ever stop. It's not like you can just hit director and be like, oh, I did it, I'm done. It doesn't happen like that. You have to continue recruiting. You have to continue finding new customers. You have to continue to build your business. You have to work every day like it's the first day that you've joined. You know, everybody has kind of rough patches. I know I did. I had a really rough patch about probably about a year ago. It wasn't until this last year that I really kind of got back into the swing of things. After I had my 3rd baby and we lost Grace Adele, it was really hard for me to get back on my feet. But I did it. I said after Grace Adele ended that I would never have a better month than I did in the last month before it was gone. And I did that this year. This last fall, I had my best month ever. I never ever thought that I would get back to where I was, and I've done it. And so I've proved that to myself. But everybody kind of has rough patches, but you can't ever stop working. You have to do it the way that you did from the beginning. You have to stay excited, and you have to continue to take good care of your customers. You have to continue to, you know, book parties and find fundraisers and recruit new people, because as you've probably seen, people come and go, and that's okay. This Sensi thing is not for everybody, and my Sensi journey is not for everybody either. So, you know, you're going to have hobbyists come and go. You're going to have, you know, people that don't really want to have this be a business. People are going to have life changes that happen. People will move, and that's okay. You have to continue to find new people in order for your business to continue to grow. You can't ever stop. Okay, number 2, what is the most rewarding part of your title? I think when I see that there's really only, what are we, like the top directors are the top 1% of the company, something like that. That's crazy to me to think about, because it just shows that there's really not that many of us at all. Like, there's not that many Sensi consultants, and the whole saturation thing is such a myth. There's so much opportunity out there for everybody, and especially directors. There's still 2 more levels to go to being at the top of the company, and you still have to continue working to get there. So I think seeing that there's so few of us, and, you know, home office kind of calls us the cream of the crop because we've risen to the top. And there's really, gosh, I don't even remember how many of us there are. I just saw a chart the other day, like 1,900 or something like that across the world, which is crazy. So I love that aspect of it, knowing that, you know, my hard work did really pay off, because I have risen to the top of, you know, kind of the consultant list. But I also love the director call. I'm kind of nosy and I like to know things. So knowing that was a huge incentive for me. So like the director call and leadership, and the day before reunion starts, like that director day, I wanted to be a part of it. And so knowing that those things were going to be available to me as a director is what pushed me there, because I wanted to have those things. I wanted to know first. I wanted to be able to get to know Heidi and Orville and go to boot camp and go to leadership. I wanted to have the opportunity to do those things. So there's a lot of perks to being a director. You should do it. It's pretty fun. How do you keep track of your clients, and how often do you contact them? Do you use a system for follow-up? I wish I had a better system than what I have, but that is my own fault. I don't have anybody else to blame for that. What I do have that I really like is a VIP group on Facebook. So right now there's about 100 people on there, and they're all over the country because I have a lot of like online customers and that kind of thing. But I like knowing that I have a central place with no other consultants. That's just my customers, where I have a safe place to go to talk to them without interference from other consultants. Because I know that they're going to see it, because they're going to get a notification every time I post. And I don't abuse that privilege at all. I maybe post once a day. During the holiday times, I probably post more. But that's a place where I can go and tell them about the fun stuff coming up. I give them a sneak peek of the Scent and Warmer of the month. I can take pre-orders there for things. And it's also a place where they don't feel like they're out in the open ordering things from me, because I think people like to be a little bit private about that. So my VIP group has been huge. I've seen a big difference in my sales and in my parties and that kind of thing in the last year because of my VIP group. So I definitely really like to have that. As far as contacting them, I use Mad Mimi, and I like that for the most part. Once you figure it out, it's kind of a learning curve. Once you figure it out, it's really nice to be able to send out my own newsletter to people. But again, don't abuse that privilege, because then people will unsubscribe and then it won't benefit you at all. Okay. What is your best tip for finding new customers? So I give rewards for referrals. So if my customer Jenny has a friend Ashley, and Ashley needs to find some Scentsy, Jenny will give her my card or my information. And when Ashley places an order, her first order, I give Jenny a free bar. Now, I don't really have a consistent, like I don't give her something free every time her friend orders. Just the first time is kind of like a referral bonus. But I also really, really use that perpetual reward for party referrals, because I think that it encourages people to book more parties and to kind of refer their friends to me. So referrals is a huge way that I find new customers, but also through fundraising. When people, sorry, I guess that's fine. Life of a work at home mom. Little people are always coming in. What was I saying? Oh, fundraising. So when people know that you are passionate about a cause, or they know that you're going to donate to a cause, they are much more likely to order from you and continue ordering from you. So if you can keep people engaged and you can take really good care of those customers, write a handwritten thank you note, send a scent circle with your online orders, thank you notes, that kind of thing. You have to set yourself apart, because anybody can just go online and find a Scentsy consultant. Anybody can do that. You want to be the person that they continue to come back to. And so going that extra mile with your customer service is huge. Let's see. What are some successful ways of going out of your comfort zone? I'm not very good at this one. I don't do that very well. I'm very shy when it comes to first meeting people. Like, I don't really go up and introduce myself to people very well, like at all. I'm trying to get better at that. That's something that I'm working on. But going out of my comfort zone, I'm much better behind a computer screen or behind a phone. So I'm much more likely to text someone or send a message asking if they want to book a party kind of thing than I would be in person. And I don't do phone calls like at all. It's just, I don't like it. Again, something that I'm working on. But for now, the way that I probably go out of my comfort zone is through Facebook. I mean, I post a lot of ridiculous selfies, and I found that that kind of engages my customers and how I get new customers. I love when I meet someone new that's kind of been a referral. Like right before Christmas, I had a holiday event at a salon, and this person was kind of a referral from someone else on Facebook. I guess she had posted on Facebook looking for a Scentsy consultant. One of my customers tagged me in her post. I sent her a message that I would love to participate, kind of thing. A month later, I get there and she said, "Oh my gosh, when our friend told me that you were available, and she said that I would absolutely love you and that you were so much fun on Facebook, and I have just had a blast following you for the last month. I just have been so excited to meet you because you're so much fun on Facebook." Okay, that means that I'm doing my job. That means that I'm doing a good job of keeping people engaged, making people want to see my Facebook. I'm kind of taking my Scentsy posts to a different level and not being sales. I just really want to engage people. And so that's kind of how I come out of my comfort zone, is my selfies, if that makes sense. But I guess, that's just kind of how I do it. How do you recruit and make it look so easy? So this has been a hard one for me, because I don't really know how to tell people that I recruit. Probably more than half of my recruits have come to me and asked me about it. And I think it's just because I try really hard to make Scentsy look fun and easy and attainable. And like I said earlier, how busy I am and the way that I'm able to do it while juggling school and kids and a husband that travels and a social life with Scentsy, I think kind of shows people that they could do it too. So I think the conversation once people ask me about Scentsy is probably where I could be most helpful to you guys. So I try really hard not to word vomit on people. I always send them to my website. I also send them the 10 reasons to join that Sensi provides for us on the resources tab. I also have let me get it out, a rack card that I use, that I just made on Vistaprint. I don't know if you can see. So it's got my name, my picture, again, the ridiculous selfies. And then this is just kind of a little bit about me and my journey. And then I've got a picture of my husband and I on the Hawaii incentive trip that we took 2 years ago. My first incentive trip. And then on the back again, I have the top 10 reasons to join Sensi. So this is something that I give people that I think are interested in joining. So this is something that I can mail out, or I can keep a stack of these in my car, or I can put them in with people's orders, that kind of thing. And that way I'm not really being pushy, and they can read it, and if they want to act on it, they can talk to me about it. And if not, maybe they'll just keep it and give it to somebody else who might be interested. They say that if you put your face on things, people are less likely to throw it away. So I put my face on pretty much everything. So I send people that, and I basically just tell them you do it on your own terms. $99 is our only mandatory fee. There's no other mandatory fees after that. Even your website's optional if you want it to be. I can ask them about, or tell them about the sales minimum, but I really try to let them lead the conversation. I find that if I write them a huge novel and put in every single bit of information that I could possibly fit into there, including $2,000 sales bonuses and the incentive trips and all these other things, that it just gets crazy and it gets overwhelming. Because if someone had tried to talk me into joining like that, I wouldn't have done it. I just wouldn't have. So I try to be really simple about it, because it is a simple system. It's an easy business to get into. You have to work hard to make it work for you, but it's not hard to sell Scentsy. So that's kind of what I do when I'm talking to someone about joining. I let them lead the conversation. I keep it really simple to very minimum but necessary information. I don't ever keep anything from people. And then I kind of just tell them there's a lot of information. It is an awesome opportunity. There are some things that it'll be better that you learn as you kind of get into it, as far as like little details, but I make sure that they know all the necessary things that they need to before they join. And then how much has Scentsy changed my life? Oh boy. Okay, just a minute, all right? Just a minute. How much has Scentsy changed my life? Well, when I first started, I was a stay-at-home mom. We had just bought our first house. We only had one car. I had just had a second baby. I had my first son when I was 20, so I'm a really young mom. And we started out kind of rough. I mean, we lived in an apartment. I quit my job after I had my first baby because it wasn't going to pay for daycare. We started out from the bottom and have clawed our way to the top. My husband is a really hard worker. He prides himself on being able to take care of us. And so between his hard work and finding Scentsy, our life has completely changed. I'm sitting in our brand new house. We just bought a new house this last summer. This is my Scentsy office. I love it. But it's also afforded us trips. We've earned Hawaii for 2. That was our first incentive trip. We didn't get to go on a honeymoon, so that was amazing for us. I earned Greece, but didn't get to go because I was pregnant with Callahan, our youngest. I've earned Cancun twice, and now Cozumel. And we went on the cruise, the 2 of us, this last summer, and I've earned for 2, almost 3 for Disney, working on that 3rd spot so that I can buy in a 4th, so we can all go. Otherwise, nobody's going to go. But we weren't able to travel before. We couldn't do anything. I mean, we didn't have $99 extra when I first joined. I joined when we had our tax return. And I remember just sobbing when I finally hit that submit button because I was like, what did I just do? $100 is our grocery budget for the whole month. I don't like what just happened. And so I started out really scared and nervous and feeling like a failure already before I even started, which is crazy. And it just kind of turned into something totally different. I have loved every minute of it. I found a whole new sense of self-confidence. People that knew me before don't even recognize me now. I know that I can do things now. I set a goal and I do whatever I have to do to reach it. And I just wasn't like that before. I was really self-conscious and really unmotivated. And it's just allowed me to kind of stand up for myself and figure out who I am. I'm a better person because of Sensi. I'm a better mom because of Sensi. I'm a better wife because of Sensi. Sensi sends my kids to preschool every month. It puts gas in my car. It, gosh, there's a lot of stuff that it does for us every month. So, yeah, it's completely changed my life. But I've also met some amazing friends. Like I met Ashton on the cruise this last summer. We had a catamaran tour, snorkeling with sea turtles together. And I never would have met her if not for Sensi. And she's one of my very favorite people. And so it just has been awesome to see how much I've changed. Like I'm going to Cozumel next week for a week by myself. I mean, what mom gets to do that? What mom gets to say, okay, bye kids, I'm going on a work trip for free. I'm going to sit my butt on the beach for a week and recharge and get fired up about my business. Like people don't get to do that, but I do because of Scentsy. And if you work your business and if you put the effort into it, you can do that too. I promise you can. So, it's changed everything. Everything. Scentsy has changed everything. And it is hands down the best $99 that I've ever spent. It is the best thing that I've ever done for myself and for my family. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to be able to continue to do it. Like I said earlier, I just graduated with a business degree from Texas Women's University. And the number one question I get now is, well, what are you going to do now? You're going to go get a real job? No, I'm not, because this is a real job. I make real money. I've made real friends. I earn real trips. And there's nothing better than what we're already in. So, when you get frustrated or you think that, you can't do another day, you can, I promise. I've been there. And it's awesome. So stick with it and, go to your upline if you need help. You can ask me if you need help, shoot. But yeah, thanks for listening, and thanks Ashton for asking me to answer some questions for you guys. Hope it's been helpful, and I hope you guys have an awesome 2016.